Roll call.
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Trustee Burgo, trustee Lazio,
Here.
trustee Lemunion,
Here.
trustee Davis.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. So the first item, you'll go to the next screen. All right, so do we need to call, do we need to take a vote on approving the minutes from our last meeting, or just this agenda?
First, we need to approve the agenda, and then we'll go
Oh,
on to the minutes.
and then the minutes. Okay, great. All right, so Michael, would you like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
Yes, I
This
move
is
The
to,
agenda,
approve.
the agenda, the
move to
agenda.
approve the agenda. Yes.
Okay,
Second.
I'll second that. Thanks, or Ron did. Great, thank you.
Trustee Burgo, trustee Lazio,
Yes.
trustee Lemunion,
Yes.
trustee Davis.
Yes.
Okay, the motion carries.
All right, and so now we need to have a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting in May of last year.
Yes, I move to approve the meeting minutes from the last time we met. This is Michael.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a second.
Okay, then they have been approved.
Yes. Trustee Burgo, trustee Lazio,
Yes.
trustee Lemunion,
Yes,
trustee Davis.
Yes.
And the motion carries.
thank you. Now, Brian, you have the floor.
Okay, thank you. So just the kind of things we wanted to go over today, we're just going to kind of look back on the technology stats from last year, a little bit about Excel Adult High School and our Facing the Future program that we did last year, and we're going to be doing that in 2025 also. And then just kind of some projects we have in the works for this year also. So I guess, Cody, if you want to skip ahead, we can jump into the stats. Thanks. So this first slide, just kind of looking at the kind of in-branch internet services. So this is the public use computers and the guest Wi-Fi. And so you can kind of see that the guest Wi-Fi is doing really well. It's after COVID, everybody kind of got their own devices, and now they're just coming back to use the in-branch internet. The PCs have kind of stabilized. The 2425 is a projection. Of course, we don't have all the stats for that yet. So those numbers are just a projection, but it's looking pretty good. And everything's came back pretty nicely since before COVID. So any questions there?
This is Lori. I have a quick question. So are
Yeah.
those the devices that we have that we were paying T-Mobile for, those devices, or are these their own personal?
No. So the public use computers are the ones that people can come in and use in branch. And then the guest Wi-Fi is just our open Wi-Fi that it's also in the branch. So they're bringing in their own devices, to your point. So the hotspots will be coming up in a minute. So,
okay, thanks.
Yep. So, okay, Cody. So here's the to-go internet services that we have. So this is the hotspots and the Chromebooks that we have. And again, the 2425 is a projection. So I can tell you, it looks like it's pretty stable this year. The hotspots, we have 500 of those, about 510 actually, in service, and we have about 200 holds on them. So kind of the limiting factor there is just the number of devices. I don't know what, excuse me, what the right number would be, but they do carry a significant expense. But they get used heavily. We're just turning those over all the time. And the same with the Chromebooks. The Chromebooks have a few holds on them. We have 75 of those in service right now. I think we're going to get back up to about 100 to 125 in the new fiscal year, in the 25-26 fiscal year. But yeah, this is the stuff that people can check out and actually take home with them.
Thank you. Are we getting those back, or are we still seeing that people are?
We see some, yeah, that don't come back. And we do bill them for those. But we have a real good system in place for managing all of that, and we stay on top of that really well, actually. So we know what's in service all the time and what people have checked out and all that. So we stay on top of that one pretty good.
Are we paying for
And
Wi-Fi or cellular for the Chromebooks?
we're not.
Okay,
We have
so they
talked
would have
about
to
that.
check.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
but they would mostly just check out a device with it, like if they needed to have a hotspot.
that's correct. That's
Okay,
correct.
all
Yep.
right, thanks.
So yeah, and that service has been really well. It's worked really well. We've had really great feedback on it and everything. So both of those have been doing well. I think the main comment is just long wait times for both of them because the holds queue is pretty heavy on both of them. So
And are we still using T-Mobile for those?
yeah, Lori, that's correct. We are. So.
And have we talked to them about like doing any like donations, like for more, or any grants?
We haven't, the program was grant funded when we first started it. So the first, actually, we stretched that almost 2 years without having to pay for them. But we haven't looked at any really grants or anything like that to help fund those. So.
Because I know that we originally thought maybe it was because of like 2020 and, people needing some of
Yep.
those and being,
Yep.
but now it looks like, 2022, we had a kind of almost a surge of use. And then last year, it looks like we used less.
Yeah.
And I know the projected number is 1,092, and that's just based on the first 3 months. Is that where we're getting that number?
I think it's about 6 months, and then I just kind of took the average.
Okay.
So that's through January, end of
Through January.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I will
from
say
June.
this year, this coming year, we'll be able to bid those out for E-rate as long as E-rate holds up. So we will be able to get E-rate money for those hotspots. In the coming, we'll have to bid them out here at the end of 2025. And we get, because
Dan,
of
do you know
our free,
devices that are hotspots?
excuse me?
I was just asking so like we're using T-Mobile as like the best one. Like, have we done any other researches?
We've looked at a lot of different vendors. T-Mobile seems to be the big one in there. And when we bid it out, we'll actually, take bids from a whole bunch of different vendors. And we plan on doing that here at the end of the year for E-rate purposes. So,
And is E-rate is like I'm sorry, I don't know what E-rate is.
so it's from the Universal Services Administration. It's USAC. And so it's from the FCC, and they actually provide funding for internet services for schools and libraries. And so because of our free and reduced lunch, we actually get about 80% of our cost back through that. And that comes in on the revenue side for Jeremy. So it'll be a big savings to bid that out here at the end of the year and get that into E-rate.
That's really cool. Thanks for sharing
Yeah,
that. I didn't realize that.
then we'll see more vendors. Typically, like one of the reasons we didn't go with like AT&T and Verizon will just almost tell you that they're not big into this. You have to pay for their devices, and T-Mobile you don't. AT&T doesn't let you do anything with like content filtering or anything like that. So there at the time when we first started this, there was very few vendors. Now there's some more out there. And so, yeah, we'll be bidding that out here at the end of the year.
Not to put you on the spot, Brian, but how much do we receive in E-rate funding in a normal year?
Probably about 400,000 maybe.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and so the hotspots are right at 180,000 a year, and so if we could bid that out and get those less, there are some pretty set rules on how much you can spend per device. But we could get that, we could get that way down. We still have to budget for the 180,000, and then the E-rate funding that comes back would actually like come into Jeremy's revenue side. So, but yeah, so we get 80% of that back. So 120,000. So the hotspots would only end up costing us like, 50 or 60,000 probably.
So with that, I'm wondering if we got funding, I mean, if we've got 200 people waiting on them, do we have, I know last time you talked about that there were some down and some that hadn't been returned. So how many do we actually have in like service, like that we're like regularly seeing?
Probably like 450, 425, somewhere there. It varies depending on, how good people are about bringing them back. We turn them over real quick. Like we have a real good in-house procedure for disabling the device. So if a person doesn't bring them back, we disable the device like almost immediately. And that's an encouragement for them to bring it back because it just stops working. And then if we get it back, then we just re-enable it, put it back in the checkout pool, and then it just goes back out and circs. And so we stay on top of that really well. So we have a good in-house process for that.
Yeah, I think that's something that we definitely should be celebrating to the board. I mean, that sounds like, I mean, that seems like a pretty good success rate with them. But I wonder if we do get enough, like if we get more money, if we could use part of that to maybe, like if you think there's a need to buy more.
Yeah, I think, it looks like somewhere around 600 or 700 is probably where we want to go with that. But, it's always been sort of a funding thing. But if we can E-rate them and get some of that money back, then we can add some and we'll still be paying less than what we're paying now. So at the end of the day.
Do we partner with any of the schools with those? Like, are there like schools that there, or do they have their own?
Well, the kids all have a lot of them have one-to-one devices. So I don't think they have cellular in most of those. I think that depends on them having their own Wi-Fi at home. But we haven't partnered with any schools on that. We allow ours to like just float around the system as need. So we don't have them at set locations or anything. They just kind of float around. And since they're out all the time, they just come back and then they just go right out to the next person. They're just out all the time.
Yeah, it sounds like really good, big success. Thank you. Thank you for
been going
that.
well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
Any other questions there? Excuse me. I guess Cody, go ahead and hop to the next slide. Thanks. So this one will take a little bit of explaining. Looks like we had a huge jump in website usage. And we have seen an increase in usage. But between 2022 or 2023 and 2024, Google changed how they did all of their reporting and their analytics. It's called Google Analytics 4. It's their new version. And so they count page views now instead of sessions. And so that's why that number looks like a huge jump. So that higher bar will be sort of the standard going forward. But we had to make the switch. There was no hanging on to the old Google Analytics. We just absolutely had to make that switch. They were kind of forcing it on everybody. But we've had a good year. You can see that the projection's looking better than last year. So the website's getting used well. So. Okay. Next slide, Cody. So this is the budget projection for this year. And we'll go into kind of the projects that are fleshing all of this out later. Excuse me. Sorry about that. But the middle column there is our expenses through February. That's kind of mid-February. It's not even the end of February. And then on the right-hand side there, that is the projected for the year. We've had several things just uh, coming in under budget this year. One of them's the boardroom. We're doing an AV and a Zoom update in the boardroom, and we kind of figured out how to do that and not spend the budgeted amount, which is really good. So you can kind of see the strategic initiatives is the line that's a little bit lower, and we did real well on the voice data internet. We have been working really hard. Alan Chapin and IT and myself have been working really hard to get all of our voice data internet bills in line. And so, and that should be a very standard number going forward. So we do have to bid out one portion of our network again at the end of the year due to contract coming to an end. But yeah, I think we're in pretty good shape. So, any questions about that?
No, kudos. That looks great. I applaud you for really working on that because, technology is one of those things that sometimes new things are coming out and they're better, and sometimes new things come out and they're not better. And then we have, the new things that are coming out, like with voice and internet and data, that the prices are so competitive. So kudos for a job well done. This really shows. I do think that this is something that we need to celebrate with the board, because
Yes.
it's like it's nice to see you. Sorry, let me go on camera when I'm talking to you.
Oh,
So it's just so nice to see, like, this is something that really shows, like, hey, this is where we've budgeted. We're not done. Of course, the year's not done.
right,
But when we
right.
can see the successful savings that we have, and with the savings that you've made, do the hotspots fall into the voice data internet?
They do. They do.
So, I mean, we are under budget for there. I mean, so do we need to like bring that as a vote for either, I don't know if this time, but for next time, to increase that to what you need, you feel like you
Mm.
need?
I mean, the rest of it's all in pretty good shape. Like that also has all of our branches. We converted all of our branches from POTS to cellular. The old telephone lines. We did a ton of work there the past couple of years, or IT did, and so that significantly reduced that number. That's why that's a lot. That's a lot less. Is that right there? Because the old telephone services, all the telcos are trying to get rid of, and they're charging a fortune for it. And so that's where we saved quite a bit of money is in that line. But all of our staff use cell phones, staff use hotspots, all that stuff is all in there also. And we've worked really hard to try and get all of that under control and know where all the money is going. So yeah, we've done a pretty good job there.
So
But
what did you guys end up doing about the elevators? We had talked about like elevators and how you guys were going to convert those from
as
their,
as long yeah, as long as you have like um uh I think on those specifically, we did have to put a backup telephone line in for those, but you can use the cell as the primary as long as it has like a power backup and all of that. So I think that's the primary. So, but the rest of them are everything else is all cell, and we just have a handful of elevators, so it's not like a big expense for that. So,
right?
yep.
Yeah, this is
That's good.
Michael. I'd just like to make a comment too. Man, kudos to you guys. Brian, I'm so amazed every time I hear you talking about all this and the amount of work that you do, and just
Thanks.
the results are amazing. So thank you to
Yeah.
everyone involved, Cody. And um, yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
appreciative
Yeah.
of
Thanks.
you and your whole staff. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'm very lucky. I have a great staff. I have three great departments that I work with, and they just do great work. So I'm very fortunate. They make me look good. So, yep. Okay. If there's not anything else there, I guess Cody, we can hop ahead. So this is a look at Excel Adult High School. This is our online high school program. I just kind of wanted to give you a quick update there. We had 31 graduates in 23, 24. So if just a little refresher, we have, excuse me one second. Sorry about that. So we do partner with Kansas City Public Library and Literacy KC on this program. So it's 31 graduates between the three of the partners. We started this program in 2016, and we've had 164 graduates again between the three partners. And then we currently have 100 students enrolled in the program. So really, really good. And I do have some, Cody, if you can flip to the next slide. I do have some comments from some of the folks that have been through the program that we pulled out. I love it. I love the one in the lower right. I like them all actually, but I have been able to assist my children with their schoolwork and improve their education. It has changed my life as a parent as well as my children's lives. I think that's just super powerful. So yeah, we're super happy with that program. It's been very low overhead for us. We have a person here in one of our departments that kind of shepherds that program all the time, and she does a great job. She just does a phenomenal job on it. Her name is Carla Poyer. She works for our library systems department, and she just does a great job on it. So these are some comments that she pulled from a report for us.
This is really
Anything?
exciting. Very exciting. Yeah, Brian, thank you for that. So I have a question for you with the
Yeah.
Excel High School. How long does that process take? Like, is it a year? Is it 6 months?
I think it's 18 months actually. They have 18 months to complete the program. Most complete it sooner than that because they can transfer high school credits that they previously had into the program, and that helps them get through it faster. So.
Okay. And then do we allow them to I know in some of the colleges they allow people to check out um, laptops or in our cases like Chromebooks for their entire session that they need and then their hotspots. Are we doing that or are they just as they needed or?
Just as needed. We haven't had like a huge request for that or anything. Most of them seem to have the tech necessary to do the program. I will say that switching from Career Online High School to Excel Adult High School, it's a lot more open and accepts more devices, and I think that's helped quite a bit actually. So.
Yeah. This is such a big win for the technology department. And I just
Mhm.
want to make sure, it's like when we don't meet often, we can't always see the things that are going on at the library. And so I'm very excited that you'll be sharing this because it is a very big win for our whole
Yes,
community. So thank
I
you for
agree.
that.
I agree.
Yeah. Kudos again, Brian.
Yep. This is a
And
good one.
Lori,
Yep.
and Brian, I just want to say that I think this is one of the key programs that are truly life-changing for people because for many without a high school diploma, not even a GED or high set or anything,
Right.
but without a high school diploma, it puts some careers out of reach. So I'm really glad to see this blossoming and growing and to see the graduates every time. Thank you.
Yeah. It's been a great program. Thanks. So, and like I said, it's an easy lift for us. It doesn't cost a lot. And so, yeah, it's just been a win-win all the way around for us. So, yep. Okay. Cody. Thank you. So just a couple slides on facing the future. This was our series this year we did on algorithms and AI, and we had the authors in. We had our first event almost a year ago. We had Tobias Rose Stockwell. We had 160 attendees for that one. In June, we had Kashmir Hill. We had 164 attendees for that one. And then Cody, if you could skip ahead again. Then in September, we had Audrey Tong. We had 160 attendees for this one, but it was a mix of staff and public. So we had this at one of our large managers meetings also, and they got to attend this event. And that was really great. She was amazing. And then our last event in October was Kyle Shaka, and we had almost 80 attendees there, and that was a really great event. I wish more people would have attended that one. We had one of our own, Brad Smith, do kind of a fireside chat with Kyle, and it was just really good. I really enjoyed that one also. And then Cody, if you can skip ahead again. So this was just some of the topics from the survey we filled out that people left for us. You can read those. It's all really great. So, excuse me. So yeah, just a really great program, and that's from our digital innovation department. And Erin Kennedy leads that group, and she gave a presentation just a couple of months ago at the board meeting, and so that was her doing. I will give her props for that. So it turned out very well. So.
And none of those sessions were recorded, were they?
No, they weren't. So they were in person.
Yeah, I know sometimes a lot of because of different, people in the community, if they have events like this sometimes, but it's like copyrighted and stuff. So, but sometimes it's nice to have it available afterwards for a short
Yeah.
amount of time, especially when you pay to have a speaker come in or have somebody that's like that somebody may has something that they would miss it. So maybe if we do something like this in the future, we could have it like get their permission ahead of time to record it, maybe have it online
Sure.
for a little bit. Because I know that one of them I was really hoping that I could do, and I just couldn't make it work with my work schedule. But they're very neat, and to have something like this for the community where people can see and be engaged, I think it just shows that we're trying to assist the community as best we can. So in the future, my only suggestion would be I would love to see them recorded.
Sure. I agree. We those were just great programs this year. So they just turned out very, very well. So very happy with them.
Yeah.
We got a lot of great feedback. There's a lot more comments like this one. So okay, we can hop to the next slide. So just some projects that we have this year. We are doing a kind of it'll be a decent refresh to the website. It'll still kind of look the same, but the primary things are with the navigation on the site. So the top nav is going to change. We're going to go to a left-hand nav. So a lot of the navigation is changing on the site. And one of the main reasons we're doing this is a lot of people use our site with mobile. Over half use our site with mobile devices. And our mobile menu wasn't great. So now that's all going to line up and look the same, and it's going to look the same on the desktop as it does in the mobile, but it'll just lay out vertical. And so that's all going to make that all much easier to use. And that should be coming out here probably in April. And so we're really excited about that. It's going to free up some space on the homepage and other pages for us to do some other things. So we're pretty excited about that. We're also doing a update to our room reservation software we'll be taking digital signatures and online payments. That's kind of a big deal. That's something that Erin has wanted us to work on, and we're getting to that. So we're really excited about doing that. So that should be coming out before too long. We are going to be updating the self-checkouts this year. They'll be the new ones will be installed probably we'll be done with that installation probably in mid-June. We're going to be turning on text notifications so people can get holds alerts, overdue alerts, all that stuff via text notifications. In the beginning, that will be opt-in. So we won't just automatically start doing that, but people can opt into that. We're kind of opt-in people. We're also upgrading all of our public PC time and print management. These are for the public computers that people come in and use. The big update here is with people bringing in their own devices and wanting to print or print from home. It's just going to be so much better. That service will be so much better. We cannot wait to get to that. because we have a lot of people that just, once in a while you still need to print something, but you don't have any reason to have a printer. And so we're really excited about getting that up to date. We excuse me. We updated all of our laptops this year also. So all of our staff use laptops, public use laptops, those are all updated. We did a big push for on staff collaboration and digital signage. So we have these things called owls, and they can be plugged into like any laptop or PC, and they have a 360-degree camera in them and the mics and the speakers and everything. So a branch staff or a little committee can put that out in the middle of the table and everybody can be seen and heard. And they're really cool. I was going to bring one in today and show it. They're super neat, and they'll work with Teams or Zooms or whatever you want to use it with. Really nice, and not real expensive. That's another place we kind of save some money this year is on those. Those are going to be great. And then we're updating a lot of our projectors and TVs to these AirTame devices that allow people to connect to them wirelessly. It has all the instructions on the screen and everything, so it'll make connecting to our projectors and TVs and everything a lot easier. And then we're also updating all of our digital signage devices, that not the monitors themselves, but the devices behind it control them, and it'll allow video and all of that kind of stuff to be displayed on the digital signage. So kind of a huge bundle of stuff going on there. Then we also had with digital innovation and Erin Kennedy, we did a collaboration with the Hickman Mills School District and the Real World Learning Center. She gave a presentation on that a couple of months ago. And Andrew from the Real World Learning Center was here. That really turned out great. And we'll be displaying some of their work here in the coming months. And then the last thing, we're kind of slow on the AI at the library a little bit. We do have Copilot as part of our Microsoft licensing. We do have that turned on for select staff. And we do have a lot of staff that actually use AI just to do little time-saving things. Like we had some of the guys in IT use it to actually like get the commands and the codes to like do some things to switches, to some of our network switches, and do little code snippets for things that they're working on. We had one of the system admins grab some commands to work on our virtual infrastructure. But we're very cautious with it. So we kind of have an in-house policy that if you don't really understand what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing it because it may pose a security risk or something like that. So we're pretty cautious with it. We have a set of AI policies coming out that will actually say that. It's like, hey, if you're not for sure about this, you shouldn't be doing it. You shouldn't be putting staff or customer info in there because we don't know, where they're harvesting the data. But yeah, that's sort of some of the things that we've had going on. It's just kind of a long list of stuff. So that's what I got.
I had
Wow.
one question about the print management one.
Yeah.
So are we allowing people then to like print, like if it's the middle of the night, to print something to the library and then pick it up like the next day, or schedule a time for pickup? Is that what you mean
Yep.
by print management?
They can do that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
No.
then so
It'll hold on to it.
kind of going hand in hand with that, I know, from the very beginning, I've been really hoping that we could have some things with 3D printing. And I know part of what Union Station does is they have one lab where they have printing things, and they have some things that children can click on and print. And then they go to the lab there and pick up their little things, whether it's the exact one they printed or they have multiple of them made, so that people can, the kids can see kind of a little bit about what 3D printing is. They have some just things that they make, like one that's like a jewelry that's got like a little chief's arrowhead that they
Mhm.
can make a jewelry. And then there's like some little trinkets and stuff that they can 3D print. I would really love us to do something like that as part of that, as part of having, whether it's, you know, one
Okay.
branch, whichever one's maybe the most attended, to put something like that where people can go there. Because especially with summer coming, a 3D
Yeah.
printer, they're under $300. You can get a couple
Mhm.
of them. And just to have, you know, a few things to print out would be a really cool thing that we could offer
Okay.
to our kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Sorry.
We'll look
And
into that,
encourage
and
them to come
we'll.
into the library.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank
No,
you.
no problem. No, that's a good idea. I'll look into that Union Station one. I didn't know that one existed. So we'll look into that. So that's a great idea. So, okay. Anything else on that? All right. I think that's probably it. We're at the end. Anything else?
Michael or Joycelyn, do
Well,
you?
yeah, just, I mean, comments, again, I've already made a few comments, but as you're going through this, yeah, I'm really amazed. I'm not really a computer guy. I mean, I know how to flow around a little bit, and you know, when you
That's
mention
okay.
the word when you mention the word AI, it's like I have no clue, you know, and it kind of scares me a little bit, the
Yeah.
AI, I'll be honest with you. And it's intimidating, I think, from my perspective right now. And the capabilities, I have no clue, but I guess it's pretty
Yeah.
unlimited type of stuff. So
It's.
I just,
I just. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, no, go ahead.
I just came from a conference. I went to South by Southwest in Austin, Texas, and they had a whole track on AI, and there was just some insane things that you can do with it. But you do need to. This is why we're cautious with it. Is you do kind of need to know what you're doing if you're going to be
Yeah,
using it in a business environment. If you're just going to play around with it on your own, sure. But if you're going to be coding and doing things like that, you need to be able to support it and take care of it. And if you can't do that, you probably shouldn't be doing it. So we're
yeah,
pretty cautious with it. So
yeah. I guess that's what I appreciate about you. You guys are just tech savvy pros. You know what you're doing,
I'm
and
not.
you're helping us learn along the way too. So I really appreciate that. And
Thanks.
the stats that you've shown are just really something else.
Yep. Thanks. I appreciate it. Again, I have a great staff. I'm very lucky. So
Yeah.
Brian,
yeah.
Good morning. This is Ron. I just have a few very unrelated comments, but with respect to one of the first screens that you had on tech stats, on the rare occasion that I'm at one of the branches early, in particular Antioch or Riverside, I see half to all of the computers being occupied by people typically of my age who are elderly into their senior years and so forth. And then shortly later in the morning, one sees young parents or guardians bringing in very young children. They get these just beautifully color coordinated computers and the keyboards. So those are just getting tremendous use, and I suspect due to maybe people having lacking opportunities to have those resources themselves. Next comment, I was looking at some of the numbers, and it appears as though your budget is less than 5% of the aggregate budget, which I think is absolutely amazing stewardship, considering everything you do in terms of the
Thank you.
comparative basis for the total numbers that come through annually. So much congratulations to you and your crew.
Thank you. I got some frugal people. So
And it's appreciated very much.
Yeah.
Next on the high school graduation, yeah, I was at one of the earlier graduation ceremonies at Woodney, maybe 5-6 years ago. And if I recall somewhat correctly, there was less than a dozen people graduating, but an absolutely lasting impact was the sense of pure happiness and joy that the young adults received in getting an authentic high school diploma compared to some of these proprietary GED pieces of paper. And just as much on that face, one could see the young kids whose parents has graduated. It was inspiring for all of us who were there, as well as I'm sure just a tremendous leg up for those families. That's another point is the Facing the Future series that you and Aaron put on. Those were absolutely excellent in topic and the presentation style. So when you mentioned you're having that again for this year, we're looking forward to that with a great deal of appreciation. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Ron.
Just some quick comments. I think that we're absolutely headed in the right direction. I echo what Michael was saying, and I applaud you, Brian, for really scrutinizing AI because in a business environment, especially in a business where we're all about protecting people's access and privacy, it's very, very important that we keep that at the forefront of whatever we do. Even though it may be new, it may not be for us, and it may not be for us in the way that industry would like it to be for us. The second thing is, I kind of I agree with Lori. I think 3D printing is great. However, um, there's a difference between I think novelty and programming. And I think just pick an object and print it and come pick it up is great, but you're still going to have quality people there who understand the machines. The machines are going to have to be managed. The machines are going to have to be monitored. And the lower end machines tend to sometimes be problematic. So there'll be a lot of troubleshooting. If we're going to go down that road, I would prefer to move it from novelty to more of a programming aspect, and that will need some funding and some emphasis to be able to do that.
We,
And it
we've
may not
sort of
be,
thought about it in that idea also, Joycelyn. So I
yeah.
appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Yeah, and when we were at the ALA conference, Jocelyn, they had like already done programs that people could click on, and I can't remember the name of the company. I took some paperwork, but it was like you could go and like go through all of the process to set up how the AI works, and then once that you get that kind of in place, then you would just click it, and then it would be more hands off to the kids. Like they could watch the machines going, maybe behind a glass. That's how they do it at Union Station, behind a glass, so they can watch their projects be made. But it is just like somebody in the lab who kind of owns that process. They own the printer, so the kids are still getting to do all of the design work, which is the most important part of any 3D printing, because sometimes when you fail and your thing doesn't work, you say, oh, I need to redo this, or I need to redo this. So as opposed to having something like that, I think that's why the programs that they have in place that are saying, hey, these are templates that you can already use that are going to work, and they're tried and tested. And so it's a good way to have kids. I don't know if you've 3D printed anything, but it's like there's a lot of templates that you can use, and then they cost money. And so we would have to probably go through a program, and I know they have some in place. I have a couple of questions. Oh, go ahead.
Before you go on, Lori, I actually run a 3D printing spot here where I work. And all I'm saying is you need somebody knowledgeable. You need
Absolutely.
some kind of training. And it's not as simple as choose a template and print. It has to be sliced for that particular printer and the particular filament that you're using. It's a little more than just click and print. And I'm saying that requires a staff item line, that requires a budget item. That's basically a budget item that would have to be put in place to run that correctly. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Or we could get teenage volunteers that would, like have some of the teenagers that would be able to come in. I know that like through the North Kansas City School District, the kids are required to do 50 hours of volunteering. And we have so many great kids, especially like through the SAGE program where they have the gifted kids. And at the SAGE schools, they have all 3D printers as well as laser printers and then they have, you know, other devices that they can use. And so if we could get some of those kids to come in and even like volunteer to show how to do the different filaments and you know, it's an option. There's a lot of things that we could talk about. I just don't want to keep putting it off because I've been here for 4 years, and for 4 years, every single time we start to move forward, we take a step backwards. And so there are lots of things, you know, we have multiple 3D printers here, and you know, it's like I know that it's just like learning how to do it, and part of learning is failing. And so I think having some of those that they even just try would be a big step forward for our libraries in tech. The other thing I wanted to ask Brian is for the old laptops that we had, we talked about that maybe we were gonna like well, what happened to those, I guess? What happened to our old laptops? Did we sell them, or did we do something? Or maybe Aaron, Jeremy, you know?
All right, is Brian still with us? I'm not sure. Cody, is Brian still on the line?
He's showing. Maybe he stepped away. Maybe he's
Yes,
coughing.
he's
That's
still
okay.
online.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry. All right, I had a coughing fit for a second, so I apologize. No, go ahead.
so
The
let
question
me
was
ask my
about,
question.
sorry,
Yeah.
Lori.
I was just asking what we did with the old laptops. I know we talked about that maybe we would sell some of our tech equipment, or what do we do with them?
I'll have to check with IT on those. Some of them we turn into just like random programming laptops that we lock down and can just do small things. And then some of them we actually recycle. The ones that we are taking out of service are extremely old. And so we got maximum out of those. So I'll check and find out for you. So
Okay. The other thing is I was at a tech conference just recently, and I met this couple, and they were talking about some tech that they were learning, and they said they had signed up to use a class. And Michael, your comment reminded me. And what they did is they had teenagers that came into their facility, and they taught them like how to FaceTime and how to send a text and how to do something. So they had some like tech trainings that they had like a group of teenagers that came in, and they brought all these seniors into the program to learn how to use their their devices basically. And she was saying how fun it was and how much she enjoyed learning how to do FaceTime, and that the teenagers that were helping them really enjoyed it because they were interacting with the seniors and kind of feeling like they were having a good time. And so I just was thinking that that might be another way that we can, I don't think it would cost us anything other than like a meeting space, but it would be that we could have like a class for basically tech for seniors or tech for anybody. It doesn't have to necessarily be seniors, but I know that it's like my 17-year-old knows everything about devices. It's like I can ask him anything about, and he just happens to know because he reads up on that. So I think that that would be a fun way for us to use kind of what we have, and then maybe use some of the volunteers through this, you know, through the schools to come and help do it for us, so it wouldn't cost anything.
yeah, that's a good idea. We'll look at that. We do have some programming that we do in-house around those things now. But typically something that we do on our own. We haven't really partnered with school districts other than like the Real World Learning Center on the social media and algorithms. So, yep.
Yeah, I think that they had enough. She said they had enough volunteers that pretty much everybody that came had their own person to show them how to use their phones. And it was so exciting to hear her and her husband both were learning how to do that. So just something to think about, because it would be a fun addition to our libraries. And we
This
could
is
also
Teresa.
have.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
This is Teresa. I want to add to that too. Brian, I believe that Square One does a portion of that as well. It may be targeted to the business community, but I do know
It
that
is.
Square One
Yeah.
offers that as well.
Yep. Okay. Anything else?
Great job, Brian.
Yeah, Brian, thank you for hanging in there. I know you have some health matters you're dealing with, so.
Yeah, no,
especially-
I appreciate it. So like I said earlier, I'm living on cough drops. So yeah, they're great.
Hopefully you feel
so-
better soon.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Glad that I was surprised that you were here and able to learn to lead us today, but thank you for doing that. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Yeah, this is Michael. I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Okay.
All right.